I'm a bit sunburned there, as you can see, Matthew. It's going to respond to your video post that you had made about programming and teaching programming to students. As you can see, I'm in the countryside here. I've moved out from the city to the countryside to a little house that is a new move. The last place I was in the city, but this is out in the countryside. It's very nice, and only 15 minutes by express train into my commute route, which is where I work in the center of the city. So the question is about programming, and I'm actually quite critical about how programming is done within the schools and education in general, and that is the students don't have an understanding of the why. Why would I program? And it comes to that philosophy that you mentioned before of understanding the thinking behind the learning process. And just as programmers have a thinking process, that thinking process is actually in everywhere. So writers have that thinking process, scientists have that thinking process, designers, engineers. We just all call it something different. Each genre has a different name for it, but it's the same thing, and that is learning from mistakes, learning from failure. And I think to get students interested in that is you have knowledge and expertise through that failure process, and it's getting students to understand that failure process too. And it's understanding how to find problems and then find solutions to those problems. So what's our role? Our role is mentorship. Our role is to guide the students through that process, and then they'll understand the different things to go with that. Now I'm mumbling because I can't think of anything else to talk about, but it's getting that thinking process. I like design thinking, because design thinking has that, it's a philosophy, I guess, but it's a well-documented philosophy of experimenting, prototyping, trying things out, having that failure, having that feedback, and then moving on from that to refine your designs, whatever that may be. So I wouldn't say myself, I'm not a programmer. Well, I guess I'm the classic hacker. I'm looking for solutions that take minimal amount of work and have maximum productivity gains. So I'll apply programming where it needs to be, but I'm not a pure programmer. I'm looking at solutions that are self-sustaining, that work for the end user. So that's my process. I'm looking for simplicity, but that's out of experience. So how do we get experience for students? Matthew, I think about even your early education, and I can't remember the name of the school, but there was a school where you were sort of out in the wilderness doing things in a kinesthetic way, allowing to have mistakes, and then learning through your own inquiry, your own passions, and driving that change. So the problem with education is that we show recipes of how things are done. So if you take mathematics, for example, we are rewarded with being precise in our answers. So there's a formula. We know what the end result will be, and we're evaluated on how precise we are in getting the result. But in reality, what we need is to be showing students we have a goal. Make a big goal, a goal that we think about how the President Kennedy said we need to get to the moon. How we're going to get there, we have no idea, but that's the goal. And through a processes of sort of making theories of how it's possible and then trying it, and through mistakes and revising it, then you get to that goal. And that's how the world works, really. We have a goal that we're trying to set. We have a theory of how we think it might work, and we try it. And if it doesn't quite make it, we evaluate it, and we go, and from the evaluation, we move forward with that. Does that make sense? Let me know what you think.